Let me tell you something most people don't want to admit. Being broke is not just about how much money you make. It's about how you manage what you have. I've seen people earning six figures, yet they struggle financially. Why? Because they waste money on things that don't serve them. And here's the truth that hurts the most. Rich people don't waste money the way poor people do. While some spend their paychecks on status symbols, quick pleasures, and unnecessary debt, the wealthy invest in assets, financial freedom, and long-term security. If you're working hard but feel like you're still getting nowhere, you might be falling into these 13 money traps, habits that are keeping you stuck in a cycle of financial struggle. And let me be clear, this isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. Once you see where your money is going, you can make better choices, cut out the waste, and start building real wealth. So before you buy another thing you don't need, before you fall for another marketing trick, watch this until the end, because these 13 things might just be the reason why you're not where you want to be financially. Let's begin. 1. Chasing status with expensive brands. Luxury brands sell a dream, a promise, a shortcut to success, power, and respect. But here's the truth. A high price tag doesn't equal high value. I used to believe it did. I once spent thousands on designer watches, convinced they would make me feel more confident. And for a moment, they did. But after a few months, they sat in a drawer, forgotten. The thrill faded, but the money was gone forever. A friend of mine took it even further. He borrowed money to buy a luxury car, thinking it would elevate his status. It did for a while. People admired him, complimented him. But beneath the surface, he was drowning. Loan payments, insurance, maintenance, all for a car that didn't make him wealthier, only more anxious. He learned the hard way that impressing others isn't worth financial stress. This is the trap. Marketing doesn't just sell products, it sells insecurity, the fear of not being enough. This watch will make you feel powerful. This bag will make you desirable. This car will make you respected. It's a lie. Wealth isn't worn, it's built. Mark Zuckerberg wears plain t-shirts. Warren Buffett drives a modest car. The world's richest men don't chase status because they understand this. Real power comes from what you own, not what you wear. When you buy for status, you're spending money to impress people who don't care. You're funding a lifestyle that keeps you trapped in financial stagnation. But when you buy for quality, durability, and function, you're investing in freedom. Stoicism teaches detachment from external validation. A true Stoic doesn't need a logo to feel important. They seek self-respect over public approval. So next time you're tempted by an expensive brand, ask yourself, am I buying this for its quality or for validation? Will this purchase make me wealthier or just make me feel wealthy? Invest in assets, not illusions. Prioritize financial security over social approval. Stop chasing brands. Start chasing financial freedom. Have you ever regretted buying something just for the status? Share your story below. 2. Buying a house too soon. Owning a home is the American dream, or so they say. But for many, it turns into a financial nightmare. A trap disguised as success. Society tells you that buying a house is a milestone, a sign that you've made it. But what they don't tell you is that rushing into homeownership too soon can be the very thing that keeps you financially stuck. I almost made that mistake. I was ready to sign the papers on a house bigger than I needed, convinced it was the right move. But something held me back. Instead, I rented for a few more years, invested my savings, and later bought a smaller home, one that I could afford without financial stress. That decision changed everything. It gave me freedom instead of a mortgage that controlled my life. Here's what people don't realize. A house isn't just a place to live. It's a long-term financial commitment with hidden costs that never stop. Mortgage payments, property taxes, repairs, maintenance, insurance. It drains your cash flow, ties up your savings, and limits your ability to invest in wealth-building assets. Buying too soon or stretching your budget too thin means living in a house you technically own, but one that really owns you. Many people fall for the illusion that homeownership equals success. They see their friends buying homes and feel pressured to do the same. But what they don't see is the debt, the financial strain, the years of paying off a loan just to keep up appearances. A house is not a trophy. It's not a status symbol. It's a responsibility. And if you take it on too soon, it can become a burden rather than a blessing. Stoicism teaches us to control our impulses and think long-term. The wise don't rush into big decisions for temporary validation. They wait, they plan, they move strategically. Buying a home should be a calculated move, not an emotional one. Ask yourself, are you buying because it's the right financial decision or because you feel pressured to keep up? The solution is simple. Build your financial foundation first. Prioritize liquidity. Invest in assets that grow. And when you finally buy, do it on your terms without sacrificing your peace of mind. 3. Subscriptions and digital services. Stop for a moment. Take a look at your bank statements. Scroll through your transactions. How many charges are there for subscriptions you barely use? How many streaming platforms, premium apps, and auto-renewing memberships are silently pulling money from your account every single month? It seems like a small change. $5 here, $10 there. But add them up, and you'll see the real problem. These tiny charges, disguised as convenience, can drain thousands of dollars a year without you even noticing. It's death by 1,000 cuts. One streaming service turns into 4. A free trial becomes a paid subscription because you forgot to cancel. A fitness app you used once is still charging you every month. These aren't just expenses. They are financial leaks, slowly robbing you of money that could be building your future. Companies design these services to keep you subscribed. They count on you forgetting. They rely on your hesitation to cancel. They make quitting harder than signing up. And every month, while you ignore those charges, they quietly take your money. Here's the truth. Most people don't need half of the subscriptions they're paying for. The difference between the rich and the broke isn't just how much they earn, it's how they control their spending. Wealthy people watch where every dollar goes. They don't waste money on convenience they don't actually use. But most people let money drip away, month after month, believing it's too small to matter, until it's too late. Stoicism teaches discipline. It teaches us to recognize excess and remove what is unnecessary. A Stoic does not pay for distractions. They do not waste money on things that do not serve them. They prioritize clarity, purpose, and control. If something doesn't add true value to your life, why are you still paying for it? It's time to take action. Review every subscription. Cancel what you don't use. Reclaim your financial power. Don't let your money disappear into services you forgot about. Use it to invest, to grow, to build something real. How many subscriptions have you paid for without using them? Drop a comment below. 4. Smoking, alcohol, and vices. A Stoic values self-discipline, control, and clarity of mind. They do not waste money, health, or time on habits that weaken them. They do not seek escape from alcohol, temporary pleasure in cigarettes, or distraction in vices. They recognize that every indulgence has a price, and often that price is far greater than we realize. Studies show that people spend thousands of dollars a year on smoking and drinking. Money that could have been invested, saved, or used to build a better future. A person spending just $50 a week on alcohol is losing over $2,600 a year. Over a decade, that's $26,000 gone. Enough to start a business, enough to invest in stocks, enough to change a financial future. But instead, it's burned away in bars, liquor stores, and cigarette packs. The cost isn't just financial, it's mental, it's physical, it's a slow erosion of control. Smoking steals your health while stealing your money. Alcohol clouds your mind while draining your bank account. These habits don't add to your life, they take from it. They give you short bursts of relief while creating long-term problems. And worst of all, they trap you in a cycle that is hard to escape. But here's the truth, it's not too late to stop. It's not too late to reclaim your power. The solution is not just quitting, it's replacing. Replace the bar with the gym. Replace the cigarette with a book. Replace wasted money with investments. Turn weakness into strength. A Stoic asks, does this habit serve me or does it control me? If it controls you, it must go. There is no freedom in addiction. There is no wealth in self-destruction. If you want financial security, if you want mental clarity, if you want power over your own life, you must cut off the things that weaken you. 5. Expensive cars and car payments. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, still drives a modest car. He could afford any luxury vehicle on the planet, yet he chooses practicality over prestige because he understands what most people don't. A car is a tool, not a trophy. A vehicle's purpose is transportation, not validation. A friend of mine figured this out early. He had the money to buy a brand new luxury car, but instead he purchased a used Toyota, saved over $20,000, and invested the difference. That single choice allowed his money to work for him rather than against him. Meanwhile, another acquaintance, desperate to showcase his success, took out a massive loan for a high-end car. Within months, the payments, the insurance, and the maintenance costs crushed him. What started as a symbol of achievement quickly turned into a financial prison. This is the illusion that keeps so many people broke. They confuse car ownership with status. They think luxury vehicles signal wealth, when in reality they often signal debt. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses 20 to 30% of its value instantly. Within 5 years, it's worth half of what you paid. Yet the loan lingers, the payments continue, and what remains isn't success, it's a financial burden. A Stoic does not measure their worth by what they drive. They do not seek external validation in objects that depreciate. They understand that true wealth is built on financial security, not financial obligation. They see through the illusion that possessions create power. They value control over impulse and freedom over fleeting admiration. Ask yourself, are you buying this car for its function or for its validation? Will this purchase bring you closer to financial independence or further from it? The reality is that most people don't own their luxury cars. Their banks do. And most people don't drive their success. They finance it at a high interest rate. If you had $20,000 right now, would you spend it on a car or invest it in something that grows? Wealth isn't in what you drive. It's in what you own. 6. Fast food and eating out too often. How much money have you spent on food this month? Not groceries. Fast food, takeout, restaurants, coffee stops. Most people don't know. They swipe their card for a $12 meal here, a $6 coffee there, and a $20 dinner on the weekend. It doesn't seem like much, but add it up and the numbers will shock you. I once spent over $200 a month on takeout without realizing it. That's $2,400 a year, gone. Money that could have been invested, saved, or used for something meaningful. And I wasn't alone. Studies show that people who frequently eat out spend up to 40% more on food than those who cook at home. That's thousands of dollars disappearing every single year. Not because of necessity, but because of convenience. Fast food isn't just a financial trap, it's a psychological one. It's designed to be addictive. The bright signs, the cheap deals, the instant satisfaction, the promise of saving time while quietly draining your wallet. It convinces you that cooking is hard and expensive when in reality it's the opposite. Stoicism teaches self-discipline and control. It teaches us to choose long-term benefits over short-term pleasures. Eating out constantly is the opposite of that. It's spending money impulsively, prioritizing ease over strategy, convenience over financial security. A Stoic does not let cravings dictate their choices. They do not spend recklessly because it's just a few dollars. They recognize that small financial leaks sink big ships. The solution is simple. Take back control. Prepare your meals at home. Cook in bulk. Plan ahead. You don't need to give up eating out entirely, but you do need to be intentional. Stop paying extra for the illusion of saving time. Start seeing food for what it really is. Fuel, not entertainment. So ask yourself, how much are you really spending on convenience? And more importantly, is it worth the cost? 7. Impulse shopping and retail therapy. Emotional spending is a financial trap, one that operates in plain sight. It disguises itself as happiness, relief, or self-care. You see a limited time sale, a new gadget, a trendy outfit. You convince yourself it's a reward or a necessary purchase. You buy it, and for a brief moment you feel good. Then reality sets in. The excitement fades, the item loses its appeal, and the money? It's gone forever. This is how impulse shopping destroys wealth, not all at once, but in small, seemingly harmless transactions. It's death by 1,000 cuts. The $20 spent here, the $50 spent there, a new jacket you don't wear, a phone upgrade you didn't need, a subscription box you forgot to cancel. It all adds up. Look around your home. How many things do you own that you don't even use? How many clothes still have the tags on? How many kitchen gadgets, electronics, or accessories sit in drawers, forgotten? Every unnecessary purchase is money that could have been invested, saved, or used for something that actually adds value to your life. Retail therapy is a lie. It doesn't heal stress, it doesn't fix problems. It creates new ones. Credit card debt, clutter, regret, and worst of all, it never ends. Because the high is temporary. The thrill wears off, and then what? You look for the next purchase, the next distraction. A Stoic does not let emotions dictate their financial decisions. They do not buy out of impulse. They buy out of necessity. They understand that true wealth is not about accumulation, it's about control. Money spent mindlessly is money lost forever. Money saved and invested is money that works for you. Break the cycle. Before every purchase, ask yourself, do I need this or do I just want it? Will this bring lasting value or just momentary pleasure? Delay the decision. Walk away. Give it 24 hours. If it still matters, it's worth considering. If not, you just saved yourself from another regretful purchase. Impulse shopping is an illusion. Control your money or it will control you. What's the last thing you bought impulsively that you now regret? 8. Keeping up with the Joneses. Why do we feel the need to match what others have? Why does seeing a neighbor with a luxury car, a friend with the latest iPhone, or a coworker showing off their designer handbag make us feel like we're falling behind? This is the illusion of keeping up with the Joneses. The silent force that convinces people to spend money they don't have, to impress people they don't even know, with things they don't actually need. It's a race with no finish line, a game designed for you to never win. I remember my brother once feeling ashamed of his old Honda. His neighbors had sleek SUVs, and every morning he'd park his car and feel like it didn't belong. He convinced himself that he deserved an upgrade, so he financed a luxury vehicle. 5 years of car payments drained his savings and delayed his financial goals. And his neighbors? They never noticed. That's the trap. We upgrade our cars, our homes, our gadgets, not because we need to, but because we feel we have to. Every year, people spend thousands upgrading their phones, not because the old one stopped working, but because everyone else is getting the new model. They take vacations they can't afford, buy branded clothes to appear successful, and stretch their budgets to meet invisible expectations. But here's the truth. The Joneses might be drowning in debt themselves. Social media, polished appearances, and status symbols create the illusion of wealth, but behind closed doors, many are barely keeping up. The house is mortgaged, the car is financed, the luxury lifestyle is borrowed. Comparison is a losing game. A Stoic does not measure their worth by what they own. They do not seek validation through objects or chase approval through spending. They focus on what truly matters: financial security, self-sufficiency, and inner peace. They understand that real success is not found in expensive purchases, but in the freedom to live on their own terms. Before you upgrade, before you spend, ask yourself, are you buying this because you need it or because you feel like you should? Stop running a race that leads nowhere. Live below your means, build wealth, and free yourself from the burden of comparison. 9. Overpriced personal care products. The beauty and grooming industry thrives on one thing: your insecurities. They tell you that you need more serums, more creams, more luxury hair treatments. They convince you that the key to attractiveness, confidence, and success lies in expensive bottles with fancy labels. But here's the truth. Most high-end personal care products are just overpriced illusions. A $250 skincare set promises miracle results, but flip the bottle around, and you'll find the same active ingredients as a $30 alternative. A $50 mascara boasts exclusive technology, yet performs no better than the $10 version sold at the drugstore. Premium beard oil is marketed as a luxury essential, but the reality? A simple bottle of natural oil does the same job for a fraction of the price. People don't buy these products for their actual benefits. They buy them for the branding, the status, and the illusion of exclusivity. They are paying for the packaging, the advertising, the celebrity endorsements, not for real results. A Stoic does not fall for marketing manipulation. They do not spend money chasing validation or external approval. They understand that beauty and self-care are not about price tags. They are about simplicity, effectiveness, and function. More products do not mean better results. Better habits do. Instead of chasing luxury skincare, invest in a simple, proven routine. Instead of falling for overpriced hair treatments, focus on nutrition, hydration, and proper care. Instead of collecting unnecessary grooming products, prioritize what actually works. The wealthy do not waste money on unnecessary excess. They understand that true confidence comes from self-mastery, not from what sits on their bathroom shelf. Take control of your spending, simplify, spend wisely, choose value over vanity. 10. Buying lottery tickets and gambling. The odds are not in your favor. They never were. The system was designed for you to lose. Every time you buy a lottery ticket, every time you sit at a slot machine, every time you place a bet, you're playing a game where the house always wins. You are not investing in wealth. You are funding someone else's fortune. But still, people chase the illusion. They convince themselves that one day I'll hit the jackpot. That one day, their numbers will come up and life will change forever. But that day never comes. The statistics are brutal. The chances of winning the lottery are lower than being struck by lightning. Yet, despite the impossible odds, millions keep pouring their hard-earned money into a dream that is mathematically impossible for them to achieve. Think about how much money is wasted in this cycle. The person who spends $20 a week on lottery tickets may not notice it at first, but over a year, that's $1,000 lost. Over a decade, $10,000 gone. Money that could have been invested, money that could have built something real, but instead it disappears, ticket after ticket, hope after hope. A Stoic does not gamble with their future. They do not put their fate in the hands of luck. They understand that wealth is built, not wished for. Success comes from discipline, not chance. While others waste money on scratch-offs and false promises, the Stoic invests in knowledge, skill, and long-term assets. They don't hope for a better future, they create one. If you truly want financial freedom, stop chasing illusions. Stop feeding a system that was never meant for you to win. Take that money and invest it. Start small, stay consistent. Let time and discipline work in your favor. That is how real wealth is made. 11. Holiday and gift overspending. Every year, millions of people dig themselves into financial holes just to meet holiday expectations. Decorations, lavish feasts, luxury gifts, the spending piles up faster than the holiday cheer. Credit cards max out, bank accounts shrink, and when January comes, reality hits hard. Was it worth it? A friend of mine once spent over $3,000 during the holidays. Gifts, extravagant parties, last-minute shopping sprees. By New Year's, his financial goals for the next 6 months were already set back. For what? To impress people who barely remembered the presents by February? To keep up with a societal expectation that equates love with price tags? This is the trap of holiday overspending, the idea that we must spend big to show we care. Parents buy their children expensive gadgets, feeling guilty if they don't. Couples exchange lavish gifts, prioritizing short-term pleasure over long-term security. People decorate their homes like department stores, forgetting that financial peace is more valuable than flashing lights and overpriced ornaments. A Stoic does not fall for this illusion. They understand that love is not measured in dollars. A meaningful gift does not have to be expensive. A great holiday does not have to leave you broke. Wisdom is knowing when enough is enough. The problem is not giving, it's giving beyond your means. It's the pressure to match what others are doing, even when it harms your financial future. It's the belief that generosity must come with a high price tag. But true generosity is thoughtful, not reckless. Before you spend this holiday season, ask yourself, am I doing this out of genuine joy or out of obligation? Is this purchase adding value or just adding debt? The best gift you can give your future self is financial security. Rethink holiday spending. Prioritize meaning over materialism. Spend within your means. Give with intention, not impulse. Because at the end of the day, it's not the price of the gift that matters, it's the presence of the giver. 12. Overpriced gym memberships and courses. You sign up for the gym with the best of intentions. The sleek machines, the high-end facility, the promise of transformation. You tell yourself, this time I'll be consistent. But weeks pass, the excitement fades, and that gym card? It sits in your wallet untouched. This is how the fitness industry thrives, on subscriptions people don't use. The idea of getting fit feels productive, so people pay for it in advance. They buy expensive memberships, join premium workout apps, and enroll in personal training programs, not because they actually need them, but because it makes them feel like they're making progress. But a gym doesn't build strength. Discipline does. The same illusion exists with overpriced online courses. They promise transformation, fast results, and a shortcut to success. And so, people pay. They enroll in high-ticket coaching, believing the price tag equates to value. But information alone doesn't change your life. Action does. The knowledge that actually matters is often freely available, hidden in books, in practice, and in experience. A Stoic does not pay for motivation. They pay for results. They don't spend on things that make them feel productive. They invest in habits that actually make them productive. Fitness isn't about a gym. It's about movement. Learning isn't about an expensive course. It's about application. Before you sign up for another membership, before you purchase another exclusive course, ask yourself, is this a necessary tool or just an expensive excuse? Am I paying for value or am I paying for the illusion of progress? Because true growth isn't found in subscriptions. It's found in discipline, consistency, and execution. Cancel what you don't use. Train with what you have. Learn from what's already available. The tools don't make the master, the effort does. 13. Not investing in themselves. People spend without hesitation on entertainment, dining out, and impulse shopping. But when it comes to investing in their own growth, they hesitate. They'll pay for endless distractions, but not for knowledge. They'll buy things that lose value instantly, but not tools that could change their lives. A new gadget, a trendy outfit, a weekend getaway, gone in an instant. But a book, a course, a mentor, that return lasts forever. The best investment you will ever make isn't in stocks, real estate, or business. It's in yourself. Look around. The wealthiest, most successful individuals prioritize learning. They read, they seek mentorship, and they sharpen their minds. They understand that knowledge compounds like money. It doesn't just add, it multiplies. Every book, every lesson, every piece of wisdom builds upon the last, creating a foundation for success that no one can take away. But most people, they avoid it. They say they don't have time. They say it's too expensive. Yet they waste hours on mindless entertainment, spend recklessly on fleeting pleasures, and ignore the very thing that could elevate them. They spend years earning the same paycheck, facing the same struggles, never realizing that the problem isn't the economy, their job, or bad luck. The problem is a refusal to grow. A Stoic does not waste time on excuses. They invest in mastery. They seek wisdom not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Books, podcasts, mentorship, these are not luxuries. They are survival tools. Knowledge is leverage. The more you know, the more you earn, the more control you have over your life. Ask yourself, are you spending money on things that entertain you or things that elevate you? Are you consuming or are you growing? Because at the end of the day, what you know determines what you can achieve. Budget for self-improvement. Read, learn, connect. Every dollar, every hour spent on your growth is an investment that pays dividends for life. The only thing worse than financial poverty is intellectual poverty, because one can be fixed with money. The other, only with effort. Wealth is not just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep, how wisely you spend, and how intentionally you invest. Every financial decision you make either brings you closer to freedom or keeps you trapped in the struggle. The habits that drain your wealth are often disguised as small, harmless choices. A luxury brand for the sake of status, a mortgage you weren't ready for, subscriptions you don't use, impulse purchases that bring momentary pleasure but long-term regret. The money lost in these choices could have been your stepping stone to financial security. But here's the good news. You have the power to change it. A Stoic does not chase validation. They master self-discipline. They do not let emotions dictate their spending. They choose purpose over impulse and long-term gain over short-term pleasure. That discipline builds not just financial security, but true freedom, the ability to control your future instead of being controlled by debt and consumerism. Look at your life today. What can you change? What habits have held you back? What unnecessary expenses have kept you from investing in your own growth? Awareness is the first step. Action is the next. Now it's your turn. What's the biggest financial lesson you've learned? What mistake have you overcome? Share your story in the comments. Let's learn from each other.